decided to respond. Because I think he's a terrible host. We all know that Jimmy Kimmel relentlessly mocks Trump and criticizes him for every silly move. However, a while ago, Trump couldn't take it anymore and started whining like a child, saying that Kimmel hated him and the like. While this is somewhat true, it has no effect on Kimmel. Even now, he continues to mock Trump for every stupid statement and questionable action. But before we talk about the recent trolls, let's go back a few years to Oscar night when Kimmel read aloud Trump's Truth Social post and satirized him frankly. Has anyone ever been a worse host at the Oscars than Jimmy Kimmel? His opening act was like a below-average person trying to be something he is not and could never be. Get rid of Kimmel and maybe replace him with another cheap but outdated ABC talent, George Stephanopoulos. He'll make everyone on stage look bigger, stronger, and sexier, blah, 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 Make America great again. The crowd's laughing response was a clear sign that Kimmel would respond brilliantly to Trump. Right after that, he said, "Guess which former president just posted this on Truth Social? Who knows? No? So thank you, President Trump. Thanks for following. I'm surprised you still watching. Isn't it past your time to go to jail?" This statement, aimed at the lawsuits Trump was facing, hurt him so much that he had no choice but to go online and complain to his MAGA supporters. By the way, Truth Social's still doing well. I didn't expect him to read it right before the Movie of the Year announcement, right? It's the big prize, right? I think they got the man, woman, now the Movie of the Year. He read my post on the air. He read exactly what you read, and now the big story is they all beg him not to do it. Not to do it. He probably stupidly, he had to act in a short period of time, like a minute. Obviously, Kimmel was going to respond to Trump, and he wasn't going to tread lightly. On his late-night show, Kimmel responded in a way that made it evident that he was neither threatened nor affected by what Donald Trump thinks of him. Instead, this is what he had to say. "I love this. I love that this bothered him so much. I love that Fox picked a news guy nobody knows." And Kimmel's strong stance was supported by the fact that his witty comment against Trump, where he humiliated him by referring to his jail time, went viral all over the nation. The one particular joke was so well received by Americans that they even made merchandise out of it. Take a look at this clip where Kimmel talked about the reactions of Americans to his joke at the Oscars. On Oscar Sunday, there are now dozens of past your jail time shirts for sale. There are mugs. There are tank tops. There's an infinite pass for jail time backpack. People are writing it outside the Trump Hotel. There are billboards. There are billboards in Pennsylvania. It's no hidden fact that the rivalry and controversial exchange of words between Trump and Jimmy Kimmel has been ongoing for several years. But it seemed as if Trump took the hits from Kimmel personally last year when he asked his lawyers to write to Disney, the parent company of ABC channel on which Kimmel's show airs, and demanded that they stop him from making any further jokes. As a comedian, and a pretty good one, Kimmel knew that he had gotten under Trump's skin, and he wasn't going to stop at any cost. This is how he responded to Trump's indirect threat. Oh, what a plot twist. The first time Donald Trump ever tries to stop someone from talking about him on television, and it's me. Usually when he wants somebody to stop talking about him, he pays them $130,000. But he wanted me to do it for nothing. I wonder what it was specifically that sparked his Trumper tantrum. He moved on to say that if Trump can make jokes which are insensitive and insulting, why can't he make jokes that are backed by facts? And this guy, Donald Trump, all he does is make fun of disabled journalists. He calls our veterans prisons of war, even losers. He insults his opponents, his friends, his family. But if I point out that he's so fat they renamed the plane Air Force Wonder Bread, I'm the bad guy. While the complaint from Trump didn't bore any fruit, and Disney's response was not shared publicly, it's evident that nobody cared about his insecurities and the tantrums he throws if anybody criticizes him. Why? Because Jimmy Kimmel has continued thrashing and obliterating him. For example, a few days ago, Kimmel talked about Trump's hush money trial, which came to an end after the defense rested their case on the 20th of May, 2024. Let's hear what he said. Our former president and future convicted felon, who after saying who knows how many times he would absolutely testify, has opted not to testify, and the defense has rested their case. I will tell you the one thing I'm going to miss as this trial wraps up is watching Trump's lawyer, this guy, Todd Blanche, silently glowering as Trump stands outside the courtroom whining every day. To Canny-Baru Court, there's never been anything like this that I've ever seen. Now I have 2 other trials that were kangaroo courts also. It's stacked up. As you just heard, Trump keeps calling the courts as kangaroo courts. Well, Kimmel destroyed him for this weird statement on his live show. I see what's happening with this judicial system, and it's just, they call it all kangaroos. No, they do? Who does? Who calls it all kangaroos? The legal committee, the zoo community, or just you? I don't know. Immediately afterward, Kimmel showed a clip of Trump saying that while the trial has ended, he'll not rest. I won't be resting pretty quickly. Resting, maybe resting the case. I won't be resting. I don't rest. I like to rest sometimes, but I forget to rest. By the way, this is the same guy who was seen falling asleep and napping inside the courtroom a number of times. Saying that he won't rest is just ridiculous, and Jimmy Kimmel shares the same views. Let's see his reaction to this. And then guess what he did? The guy who doesn't rest, as soon as he got in the court, he nodded off at least once this afternoon. It seems that Trump's efforts to censor Jimmy Kimmel have failed miserably because he's still destroying Trump. The most amazing thing is that his roast of Trump didn't just come to an end. He went on to talk about how the former president bragged about a massive crowd that came out to support him throughout the trial, while he knew that that was just all a blatant lie. See, crowds outside we can't get. It's not a very big thing for us. We don't really care that much. Right. If there's one thing we know about Donald Trump, it's that he couldn't care less about crowd size. People want to get out there, and you have all police. The only people that are let out there is the radical left lunatics, and they put our people 4 or 5 blocks away. There are a lot of them, too. Well, Kimmel himself witnessed the so-called massive crowd outside the courthouse, and let's just say that he exposed Trump for being a liar. Yeah, no, there aren't. There aren't. I drove by there last week. I was in New York. There's no one there. You have no supporters in your hometown. There's one crazy lady outside his apartment building screaming at ghosts. That's all you got. The only supporters Trump has in New York is the army of ass-kissers who fly in from Washington every day to suckle his teats on camera. The only thing worse than having no supporters come out to stand with you is to lie about massive crowds of supporters. However, Trump is known to be somewhat humiliation-proof and doesn't care about what he spews. Nevertheless, he has some people rooting for him, and calling them ass-kissers instead of supporters would be more fitting. Take a look at this clip of a Texas congressman who went above and beyond to worship Trump. This is 5 weeks sitting in a courtroom when he should be outreaching the American people and telling the American people what he would like to do for this country. And who shows up? Tens of thousands of people show up at Donald Trump's rallies. The Democrats hate it. There's not another person on the planet that can do that other than the Pope. That's right. The ridiculousness of these Republicans and blind MAGA fanboys just keeps shocking us. Trump gathers crowds larger than the Pope. Jimmy Kimmel was just astounded to hear this, and gave a reminder of some people who would beat Trump in a split second by gathering a crowd much larger than his rallies of lies. Not Beyoncé, not Taylor Swift, just Trump and the Pope. Let's move on to another episode of Jimmy Kimmel Live that aired on May 21st, 2024, in which he absolutely destroyed Trump after he continuously cried that the court is not granting him permission to attend his son Barron's high school graduation. Regardless of the whining and crying, Trump was permitted to go to the event, and this was Kimmel's reaction. Remember the one he was screaming about saying the judge wouldn't let him go to his son's graduation? Well, he was allowed to go to his son's graduation and almost immediately fell asleep there, too. He sat down, closed his eyes. He said, "Wake me when they get to the letter T." Trump even announced that he was going to the graduation on Truth Social and used some extraordinarily formal words in the post for which he got destroyed by Kimmel. On the way to the ceremony, Trump posted this. He wrote, "Going to Barron's High School graduation. Great student, wonderful boy, very exciting DJT. What a beautiful fatherly post. Isn't that so personal? It's like what you would say to your schnauzer after a graduated obedience school. What a wonderful boy." What kind of father writes this on their son's high school graduation? But let's not get into the parenting qualities of Trump. The highlight of the whole private graduation event was that Donald Trump didn't give a speech. However, this didn't sit right with Kimmel, and he made a compilation of Trump's ridiculous comments to make a graduation speech of his own. Young graduates, but since he didn't, we took the liberty of cobbling together some of his more inspirational moments to make this speech for his son's graduating class. Let me begin by saying to each member of the graduating class, congratulations. You can do things that stupid people can't do. As we pursue this bright future, we must hold accountable the nation which unleashed this plague onto the world, China. This wasn't even the legendary ending. Never ever call Chris Christie a fat pig. Ever. I love you 100%. I wish you a lot of luck. Work hard, do the best you can, and remember what I said. No drugs, no alcohol. Have a good life. The American dream is dead. The most shocking part about this compilation is that Trump actually uttered these words on different occasions. It's just beyond us how any educated individual can still go out and choose him as their president. This reminds us of another unusually stupid thing that Trump did at a speech in St. Paul, Minnesota on the 18th of May, 2024. Donald Trump talked about the upcoming debates between him and President Joe Biden. I just want to debate this guy, but, you know, and I'm going to demand a drug test here, by the way. I am. No, I really am. I don't want him coming in like the State of the Union. He was high as a kite. Could he just throw some extra rules after already agreeing to the terms and conditions of the debates? Nobody can even decipher the thoughts that go around in the orange head. Jimmy Kimmel once again loaded up and came after Trump for stupidly saying that Joe Biden will somehow be a better debater if he was under the influence of narcotics. This was Kimmel's reaction. Sleepy Joe. He had barely put 2 sentences together, but he's also firing on all cylinders when he's on cocaine. What is this? What are they going to test him for, Sarsaparilla? I mean, really? And are we to believe that taking drugs makes one a better debater? I don't know if any of you have any experience with drugs. From what I've gathered, that is not usually the case. Listen, the only drug Joe Biden is on starts with meta and ends with mucil, okay? I mean, it's true. If he gets convicted in any of these 34 cases that are ongoing against him, he will be behind bars well before the debates even begin. But since there's no specific time mentioned for when the rulings may come, we can't rule out the possibility of Trump being present for the debates. For the time being, let's just find solace in the fact that despite Trump's whining and crying and even launching official complaints, he's not found a way to get into Kimmel's head. Because of that, Kimmel continues to entertain us by roasting and destroying Donald Trump regularly. Additionally, Trump's hush money trial has come to an end, and everyone is just waiting for the official ruling to come out so Trump's fate can be decided once and for all. Hopefully, the judgment will be finalized before the November 5th, 2024 elections, so Americans have a clear view of who is the right choice. Regardless of the judgment, I think we all know by now who is the logical choice. But this doesn't mean that the MAGA fans won't vote for Trump, and the likelihood of him winning is still there. Do you think Trump will be able to wiggle out of his conviction in the hush money trial? Or are the comfy digs of a jail cell waiting for him? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you like this video, hit that subscribe button and press the bell icon so you're notified as soon as we upload our next video. Thanks for watching.